Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to our fellowship hall the Queen of the Unicorns, Clara Osey.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
And that is why we are happy we can sing again. Thank you, Clara. That was wonderful. Good morning, everyone. It's good to have you here in Fellowship Hall. And good morning, everyone joining us from home and from wherever you are, whether you are visiting or live far away. Everybody's welcome here to this loving community of fellowship. My name is Kent McCusick. I'm the minister serving this fellowship, and my pronouns are he and him. It's good to have you with us this morning for this service on starting over or continuing the journey. This has some relevance. So our board welcome this morning is by David Brenner, and Jamie Gerganis will be joining him.
Good morning. Good morning and welcome. My name is David Brenner, and I serve on your fellowship board of directors, and I'm here with Jamie Gerganis, our president. It takes two of us today because the announcements are especially powerful and interesting. So I'll do my part, but leaving the more important part for her. I want to thank you all for being here today and extend a special welcome to any visitors. If you're joining us from home, please stay on after the service for our virtual coffee hour. Or if you're here in Fellowship Hall, we invite you to come back next week for coffee and fellowship before the service. Both are ways you can introduce yourself and join in conversation with kindred spirits. If you would like more information about the fellowship, please sign our virtual guest book at our website. We are now in a chapter of reopening where masks are recommended and where singing, food, and beverages are once again a part of fellowship life. We are still actively seeking volunteers for making coffee and providing treats on Sunday mornings. So if you're able, please reach out to the office to volunteer. If you're not feeling well, we still encourage you to join us from home. But otherwise, we look forward to seeing your faces here at the fellowship and, of course, on Zoom too, if you prefer. And here's Jamie.
Okay. Hello, everybody. So on behalf of the Interim Minister Selection Committee, which consists of Christopher Chase, Carrie Saul, Nicole Olson, and myself, we have some news to share with you today. So, and no need to take notes because there will be a dedicated email sent out to everybody before the service is even over today. We should get over here. Back in March when we began gathering, we were told that there were more congregations in need of an interim than there were interim ministers available. So we knew that that meant we had to put together an exceptional congregational record and a good compensation package. So we started our work. We did a lot of research, compiling data, writing, editing, writing some more, editing, and we finally we're ready to publish our record on April 5th. So then on April 22nd, the transitions team and the UUA Transitions Office released all the records to ministers in search. And we nervously awaited for May 2nd, which is when we would be notified if we had any candidates that were interested in us. And we had 4. So, so I sent out an email to all those candidates with thanking them for their interest in us and supplied them with a supplemental package of information that the transition office requested that we provide to them. So, and then the fun began. So we started reviewing records and looking at websites and looking at sermons, and we soon realized that we wanted to dismiss one candidate and just interview the remaining 3. So we scheduled those interviews and began contacting lots of references so that we'd be ready for the interviews that were scheduled on May 9th and 10th. So after our final interview, it was clear to the search committee who our top choice was. And the reasons were that this individual was the most personable of all the 3 that we interviewed. They smiled throughout the entire interview. They made us all feel very comfortable, and they really showed a genuine interest in our congregation. When we asked them to describe their interim style, they actually answered the question for us and gave us detailed examples. Throughout the interview, they also referenced parts of our record, parts of the supplemental packet that we sent them. They really did their homework, and we knew that they just were. It was a very good interview. Another reason we chose them as our top choice is the way that this whole process was laid out. We had to take our candidates and then rank them in as yeses, nos, or maybes, and rank our top choice. And the ministers had to do the same with their interviews. And then the transitions office matched us, and so we knew that if we needed to figure out which candidate was most likely to choose us as their top choice, because if our top choice didn't match their top choice, then we were out of luck. So that's why we did. So and we found then on May 15th, the board, we had to convene the board for a brief meeting to approve the compensation package that we recommended. And then on this May 17th, the transitions office let us know that we had a mutual yes. So yay for us. The next day, Wednesday, we were allowed to give that person a call, and they accepted. And then Bradley and I worked on the contract and sent that off for them to review, and they called me Friday evening and reviewed the contract with me. And so that was, I just want to tell you that they were very easy to work with. They put me at ease negotiating a contract for the first time. It's a lot different than hiring a babysitter or recruiting it was different. But so I think but anyways, so that we also had to have another board meeting, or we didn't have a meeting, we just called a vote to accept the contract. So, and that's where we are today. And so who did we choose? Well, I will let them introduce themselves to you. So, cue the video.
Hello, my name is Reverend A.J. Galazan, and I'm very happy and excited to join you as your interim minister in August. I'm speaking to you today from beautiful Denton, Texas, on the edge of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, where I'm completing 2 years of interim ministry with the Denton UU Fellowship. Winter in Texas has been beautiful, but I'm delighted to be moving further north and closer to home. I grew up in Bloomington, Minnesota, and most of my family still lives there. I also lived in Minneapolis for many years, but now I call Cornucopia, Wisconsin my home. It's a tiny village on the south shore of Lake Superior. I'm married, and my husband Matthew, who is a psychiatric nurse, will remain in Wisconsin to take care of our homestead, which includes 2 standard poodles, Ziggy and Mouse, and 2 cats, Beanie and Sunny. I love walking in the woods, kayaking on the lake, and exploring places off the beaten track. I love road trips, especially along the road less traveled. I'm a big believer in shared ministry. No one person can or should do it all. The world is not going back to the way it was. Interim ministry is a time to take stock of our resources and to rebalance priorities. For those inspired by the promise of liberal religion, this is an exciting time to share our faith. I look forward to meeting you soon when we begin a new church year together. Peace to you.
Okay, so we knew that Reverend AJ wanted to come to Ames because he wanted to be closer to home, and he knows Ames, and he loves living in College Town. So I think you will all really enjoy him. So I want to thank people I need to thank the search committee, Christopher, Carrie, and Nicole, and of course the board for putting up with all the extra board meetings we had to have during this time, and Bradley for helping us put together an amazing congregational record and helping us compile some data. And he also put together a really impressive supplemental package that we sent out to ministers. And we also need to thank Nicole's husband, Ben Sandness. He spent hours of his time one morning taking lots of pictures of the building, both inside and out, that Bradley used then to put together a really nice slideshow tour of the building that we included in the supplemental packet. So all this hard work paid off because we have an interim, and a lot of congregations don't. So we feel very fortunate, and I want you all to know that the search committee really feels that we selected the best candidate that fit our congregation, and he will nurture and guide us over the next 2 years as we move towards calling our 4th settled minister. So, and now back to David.
Can you give me his last name
No,
again?
it will be in an email sent out. So,
Can you give it to me now? Glasson?
Galazin.
Galazza.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
David?
Okay, thank you, Jamie. So on behalf of this caring, nurturing congregation, I welcome each and every one of you to this sacred space. Here we invite you into an experience of transformation, hope, renewal, and connections, which may inspire you to understand life in new ways. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Jamie. It's exciting news. And there are at least 3 congregations in Iowa who do not have interim ministers yet. So we are very, very fortunate. And I don't know why I felt compelled to go, I'm number 3, I'm number 3. I can never be number 1, but it's been a real pleasure and honor being your 3rd settled minister. Each week we begin our service with the ringing of our chime 3 times. Once to wake the chime, once to open our minds, and once to open our hearts. After the chiming, Sam will sing, "Let us be drawn in," so that we might draw ourselves into this time together. And now that we can sing, I invite you to respond on the "Let us be drawn in." Or if you know the whole lyric, please sing along with Sam.
In the world of the driven, let us be drawn in. Let your love be a given, let us be drawn in. To imagine, to dream, to create, to redeem, for the sake of the living, let us be drawn in.
It's Memorial Day weekend. We light this chalice in honor of the history that holds and heals us, for the stories of heroism that inspire our own, for the faces of loved ones who have passed, in whose images we see our better selves, for reminders of those who paved the path on which we travel and blessed us with advantages we didn't earn all on our own. These memories do not live in the past. They carve the contours of our present. They throw themselves into our futures and lure us into building a life better for all. They are here today. Look, listen, let them in. May their light guide our way. It's time to sing. I invite you to rise in body and or spirit, and please join Les Tacey in, oh, nope, not Les this time, Alina Hemingway and Mike Menifee in singing Jim Scott's song, "Gather the Spirit."
Our separate fires will kindle one flame. Witness the mystery of this song. Our trials in this light appear all the same. Gathered in spirit in thanks. Gather in sympathy now and then. Gather in hope, compassion and strength. Gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit of heart and mind. Seeds for the soul, incarnate in store, nurtured in love and conscience refined, with body and spirit, united once more. Gathering praise in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then. Gather in hope, compassion, and strength. Gather to celebrate once again. Gather the Spirit growing in all, drawn by the moon and fed by the sun. Winter to spring and summer to fall, the chorus of life resounding in all. Gather in tears, in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then. Gather in hope, compassion, and strength. Gather to celebrate once again.
So nice to hear you singing again. I was so afraid that we might not be able to do that before I end my time with you. This is now our time for all ages. If any young at spirit and heart want to come on the rug this morning, we'll be showing, the story is going to be on the screen. And this is Your Life Matters by Chris Singleton, illustrated by Taylor Barron.
Headlines glow, sirens wail. A question presses in the dark. Does my life matter? Heads turn, eyes shift, the world's an invisible place. Does my life matter? Doors slam, ground slides, the future seems to dim. Does my life matter? Yes. Oh, child, your life matters more than you can possibly ever know. From the tips of your hair to the lengths of your toes, you are beautifully and wonderfully made. Your eyes matter, for they can see a way where others see a wall. Your hands matter, for they can be the shovels that unearth a glorious new future. Your mind matters, for it can probe the very depths of mystery itself. Your voice matters, for it can carry across generations and resound with the ring of truth. Your heart matters, for it can be the balm that heals the deepest of wounds. Your words matter, for they can be the thunder that shakes the very foundations of the earth. Your courage matters, for it can show the world that right is right, even in the face of the ugliest, darkest hatred. Your strength matters, for it has the power to fight or to forgive or to rewrite the very stars. So, rewrite those stars, child. Sketch your dreams high in the heavens. We are with you. And when the world feels upside down, we will remind you again and again, your life matters.
Thank you for joining us on the rug this morning. And I hope that you know that we all love you very, very much, whether you're on the rug or not on the rug. We're so glad you're here. And your lives make an incredible difference to us, don't they? Why don't we all say together, your lives matter. Your lives matter. Okay, I'm going to ask you to go back and sit with your parents or family today. And it's good to have you back. RE is done for the summer. RE's never done. For you and us too. The Community Academy continues as our offering recipient through today. Although they have made a very recent decision to set aside plans for the micro school this fall, the Community Academy will continue to pursue the goal of providing innovative learning opportunities to a diverse group of children. The new plans are to offer the same types of nature and community-based educational experience on a smaller scale, after school, weekends, and possibly during breaks. This will give many more families a chance to sample the value of a new approach to learning and creating relationships. And Sue Kerson is at the mic and has some words for us this morning.
This morning, I'm here to say thank you. And it does strike me that we have a lot of things that we want to say thank you for today. This is the time in our service when normally we take an offering for a local nonprofit that we've collectively agreed to support. But this morning, I want to place the emphasis on saying thank you. As Kent just said, the Community Academy has been our offering recipient for the months of March, April, and May, which is a departure from our usual pattern of a different recipient each month. I nominated the Community Academy because I am in awe of their commitment to innovative programming for children, because I see their philosophy and their approach to education as beautifully aligned with UU values. I love it when people nod. Because the driving force behind this project is Mike Todd and his family, who always show up for RE, including all of our recent experiments, and they always step up to volunteer. And because I knew there were already a number of people in this congregation that are supportive and would appreciate an incentive to support them financially. So thanks to your amazing generosity, we are in a position to send a significant contribution to the Community Academy Scholarship Fund. This will help guarantee one of their highest priorities, and that is to have a diverse group of children participating. It's still the month of May, by the way. So one last chance to make a contribution if you haven't or would like to give more, in the basket here in Fellowship Hall, or by going to the UUFA website to give online. Larry and I are matching all contributions. So as he said at the very beginning, this is your chance to make us pay up. If you'd like to know the final total given, look in this Friday's weekly email, and I'll make sure, Bradley will make sure that it's there. But mostly, thank you. Thank you for your extraordinary generosity, truly.
And thank you, Sue and Larry, for championing this cause which grew out of the minds and hearts of members of this fellowship. It's a real pleasure and honor to support this initiative in the community. It has been a week of loss and deep sadness. This morning, I invite you to participate in a ritual of naming, remembrance, and lament. We will honor the people who lost their lives last Tuesday by saying their names aloud, offering a short remembrance, and lighting a candle for each of them. Once I light the starter candle, I invite you, if you feel so moved, to come forward and light one of the tea candles from this taper. It works best if you lift the candle, tip it, the tea candle, and tip it to the taper. And take candles from my side first so that you don't have to reach over flame. If you wish, after I say a name, I invite you to repeat it after me. Once the candles are lit, you're welcome to come forward and pause before the candles if you didn't light one as an embodiment of love and remembrance. If you're watching from home, I invite you to light a candle in solidarity with this community as part of this ritual. This is our time of naming and remembrance. Jan is here to assist. If you'd like to light a candle, please begin coming forward now. Irma Garcia, 48, taught at Robb Elementary School for 23 years. She died using her body to shield her students from gunfire. Eva Morales, 44, taught 4th grade. She was trained in special education. She taught for 17 years. Her children idolized her. She was the woman responsible for integrating students with developmental disabilities into regular classrooms at Robb. She too leapt in front of gunfire for her children. Jose Flores. Jose Flores. Jose was a baseball lover. He had just received an honor roll certificate a few hours before the shooting.
Jose Flores.
Uzia Garcia. Uzia was crazy about football. He could catch any pass thrown at him.
Isaiah Garcia.
Jo Garza turned 10 a few weeks ago. She was a jokester and loved art. She too was on the honor roll.
Joe Garza.
Xavier Lopez, 10, known for his sense of humor. He loved dancing. Before the shooting, he was looking forward to school letting out for the summer so he could go swimming. Annabelle Rodriguez and Jackie Cazares. They were cousins. They were the ones holding hands.
Annabelle Rodriguez and Jackie Cazares.
Rogelio Torres. He was a whip-smart little boy. His face could light up entire continents. Eliahana Torres, a softball phenom. She was looking forward to playing in the final softball game of her season on Monday.
Eliana Torres.
Jayla Silguero. She loved making videos for her friends, TikTok videos. The night before, she said she didn't want to go to school the next day.
Jayla Silguero.
Chase Luvanos. Every morning he would wake up and make his grandparents a pot of coffee. The family dog was obsessed with him. Ellie Garcia. Her favorite colors were pink and purple. She enjoyed cooking and made a mean chalupa. Nevea Bravo. Her name is Heaven, spelled backwards. There are 7 more if you'd like to come forward to light candles. Lexi Rubio. Loved sports. She received a Good Citizen Award shortly before the shooting. She wanted to become a lawyer someday.
Lexi Rubio.
McKenna Elrod loved gymnastics, dancing, and singing. She was wild about animals.
McKenna Elrod.
Alicia Ramirez enjoyed art and was very good at painting, a ray of sunlight in a dark world.
Alicia Ramirez.
Leila Salazar. Each morning when her father drove her to school in his pickup, he played Sweet Child of Mine on the radio. Leila knew all the words.
Leila Salazar.
Maite Rodriguez was an honor roll student.
Maite Rodriguez.
Miranda Mathis was very loving and very talkative.
Miranda Mathis.
Tess Mata. She was saving up a container of her dollar bills for the family's upcoming trip to Disney World. There were 2 names on one slide, if you would like the last one, Jan. This world just won't be the same without you. May your memories be blessed and a source of peace and comfort for your families, loved ones, and friends.
While we have once enjoyed and have a sunset, a mountain bathed in moonlight, the ocean calm and in storm, we see peace, love and unity. Oh, the vision to our hearts. Oh, the vision to our hearts. So that we really comes down. Life is over, but not death. Life is over, but not death. Life is stronger than death. And love. And love. And love can it's all never lose its
That was beautiful. I'm Jan Cook, and our reading today, our first reading, is Breaking Surface by Mark Nepo. Let no one keep you from your journey. No rabbi or priest, no mother who wants you to dig for treasures she misplaced, no father who won't let one life be enough, no lover who measures their worth by what you might give up, no voice that tells you in the night, it can't be done. Let nothing dissuade you from seeing what you see, or feeling the winds that make you want to dance alone, or go where no one has yet to go. You are the only explorer, your heart the unreadable compass, your soul the shore of a promise too great to be ignored. Thank you.
We have a special interlude this morning with Lila Schmidt. Lila Schmidt. Sorry.
Hi, I'm Kaylin, and I'll be playing concert piece Opus 35 by Pierne. I will only be playing about the first fourth of the piece, and I hope you enjoy.
That was Kaylin. I apologize for getting Kaylin's name incorrect. Each week, we take time in our service to share milestones, significant things in our lives that are bringing us joy, challenge, or gratitude. In this time of sharing, you're invited in Fellowship Hall to, if you have a milestone to share, to come to this microphone over here, introduce yourself, briefly share your milestone, and I'll light a candle for you. And once we're finished in Fellowship Hall, please watch your chat, those watching from home, and as we make the shift in technology, we'll let you know in chat when we're ready for milestones from home. This is our time of sharing.
I'm Susan Norris, and I'd like to share 2 joyful things about my sons 2 and 4. Son number 2 has really been struggling to find a job and find a way to be after moving back to Ames from Venice Beach, California 2 years ago. And he interviewed for a job at Confluence Brewery on Friday, which would just be a perfect fit for him. So I hope that he gets it. And now I hope this makes you laugh, because I know I need a laugh. Son number 4 has not been going to the dentist for quite a while. I tried to help him out a few years ago, and then I decided, well, he's a grown-up, he's going to have to figure it out himself. And he sent a Facebook Messenger post that as of Thursday, he has no cavities. And I shared this with a friend recently. He goes, Mom, you are so weird.
I have to light this candle for every weird mother on earth who has been named as such by their child. Weird is good. Are there other milestones this morning? As we make the shift in our technology to welcome people at home, I invite you into a time of deep breathing and quietness together.
Hi, this is Irv, and on this Memorial Weekend, I'd like to remember my late wife, Janet, who was my partner for 47 years, and I miss her a great deal. I'd also like to remember my brother, Ronnie, who took his own life in 1998 at the age of 49. And Ronnie was a veteran of Vietnam and had problems with his drinking, and a lot contributed to that. So thank you very much.
Hello. This is Chris White. And I guess I've been saving up milestones. for a long time. I think starting kind of in reverse order, we went to Washington, D.C. At the end of April, where our grandson's second birthday party was held in their brand new house. So he can always say that for his birthday that he got a house, but actually the thing is they got a lawn, and he and all their friends came over, and it was raining outside, so they got a bouncy house that they couldn't put outside, so they put it up in the living room, which is something that you can only do if you have an empty new house. And that was really fun. It was a great trip. It was great to see everybody. We were there for Mother's Day, and we were there long enough that I felt like we really had time to get to know the kids better, and it was just really fine. And then Jack got, he's 2, he got COVID and spent the next week in a hotel room with his mom. And that wasn't so fun, but he's better now, and they are back home and unpacking boxes, and all things like all's right with the world. Anyway, it made me happy to go. Makes me happy to remember that we went, and it's good to be home. Thank you.
The last candle is for all of those joys, concerns, and gratitudes that remain unspoken. Yes, Kay?
I'm Kay Berger, and I just waited until I could stop crying for those that died just recently. I'd like to light this candle for our son, Dustin Lowell Berger. The library down below was dedicated in his honor. He died in 1976 in an auto accident that both of us were in. And this fellowship helped us all. His brother, Randy, his sister, Angie, and both Roger and I to heal in 1976. This little boy was 8 years old, and the accident was not our fault, but it'll remain with us forever. And I thank this fellowship for all they did for us and all they do for us throughout the years.
For all those joys, concerns, not spoken aloud, that we carry quietly and gently in our hearts. I light this candle. And for those that have been spoken and not unspoken. Whatever brought you here today, whatever you carry in your heart and mind today, know that in this community of love, no one ever needs to make the journey alone. Let's be together in a moment of silence. It's good to be together.
Our second reading today is Monarch by James Kruse. The butterfly does not break free triumphant. Once it claws through the chrysalis, it stands there shivering, new wings aching as they slowly fill with blood. It must keep its tiny eyes shut tight at first against the brightness and shimmer of a world it has never seen before. Not like this. It must listen until the soul's voice whispers. The flowers are waiting. Leave the skin of the old life far behind. Open your eyes and give in to the blue air that will carry you everywhere you need to go. Thank you.
Our next song is Love Knocks and Waits for Us to Hear. Please rise in body and or spirit and join together in singing with Tacey.
Sing along with me or listen and meditate as we sing Love Knocks and Waits for Us to Hear, number 1029. Love knocks and waits for us to hear, to open and invite. Love longs to quiet every fear and seeks to set things right. Love offers life in spite of foes who threaten and condemn. Embracing enemies, love goes the second mile with them. Love comes to heal the broken heart, to ease the troubled mind. Without a word, love bids us start to ask and seek and find. Love knocks and enters at the sound of welcome from within. Love sings and dances all around and feels new life within.
We are on the cusp of significant changes, you and I. My retirement is a life-altering experience that will impact all of us. Come August 1st, Reverend AJ will be your minister for 2 years, during which time you will search for your next settled and fourth minister. As ministers of the same liberal faith, there will be similarities in our shared covenant to live into the principles of Unitarian and Universalism and the mission and vision of this fellowship, and in our love of serving UU congregations. There will also be significant differences in style and approaches to leadership and ministry. Which brings an age-old question. Are we continuing the journey or starting over? Some days will feel like continuation, and some days will feel like we're starting over again. This is as true for you as it is for me. It's not the first time for any of us to continue and start over at the same time. Nell Painter's memoir, Old in Art School, is an inspirational and entertaining expose of how she managed a significant change in her life at the age of 64. By that time in her life, she was a well-known American historian and served as professor at Princeton University for 17 years. Her highly regarded works include Sojourner Truth, A Life, a Symbol, Creating Black Americans, and her book that made the New York Times bestseller list, The History of White People. She left her professional life as a historian and professor and returned to school at 64 to become an artist. She was told that she would never become an artist. Nonetheless, she managed to earn degrees from Mason Gross School of the Arts and the Rhode Island School of Design, and her artwork has been shown at numerous galleries around the country. Her life embodies courage, dedication, and fierce intelligence in response to her Blackness and age. Interestingly, she identifies age as the larger roadblock for her, while balancing the very different roles of historian and artist. Her story is one of openness to the possibilities that change can bring. And while our stories are different, as members of this fellowship and as a retiring minister, we can learn from her life experiences and shared wisdom. I really encourage, this book is a delight to read. I have it on the table over there if you want to take a peek at it. It's not one that's being given away because I want to read it again. A change of ministers is exciting and challenging. The first time I experienced a change of ministers was during the year that I became a Unitarian Universalist. In fact, Reverend Sue announced her departure the day after I signed the membership book. I was upset. I was angry, using politically correct language in the pulpit, and I was hurt. And I made an appointment with her to tell her all of that and further share with her that in this disillusionment, I was going to leave the church. Her response? She said, I'm going to give you a gift. You think you are here because of me, and you are not. You are here because this is your community. By staying and going through this change, you will deepen your relationships here and find it in your heart to welcome a new minister as part of your community. Your relationship to this community and Unitarian Universalism offers a new world of being. This community needs you as much as you need them. It's bigger than one person. I'm glad I stayed. And look what happened. One aspect of remaining was solidarity in community. In a Black America interview, Nell Painter speaks to the importance of solidarity in her own community and in every community. She said, "The ability to see yourself as part of something larger than yourself is something that we ought to treasure as an American value, right next to individualism." The sense of solidarity and sharing something larger than ourselves invites us to be open to the possibilities of change. That invites us to simultaneously continue the journey together as we start over. In a PBS interview with Jeffrey Brown, Nell Painter speaks to her own life paradigm shift that allowed her both to let go and embrace newness as she answered the callings of her life.
Was stepping away from the tyranny of the archive and being able to move into fiction, visual fiction. So now, when I think about art, I could make things up.
And you found that personally freeing? Or?
Absolutely. Visual art is very freeing because it answers only to the eye. As a painter, I feared I could never measure up to myself as a historian because I'd never have enough time to learn to manipulate images as well as I had learned to answer the questions on my mind through research and writing. Is this a reason to stay in a place where you do what you do better than what you could do anew? Does this mean I could never change fields? Well, no. There was no reason on earth why Nell Painter had to equal Nell Irvin Painter, historian and author. I didn't always know that.
History does at times creep into her art, as in a series titled, This is the America I Know.
If we put the art aside for a moment, it kind of goes to what we do after we've done that thing in our lives, right? That we devoted our life to. Can we change our lives?
Well, I would say yes, no.
That's not yes and no, that's yes, no?
That's yes, no. When I got ready to go to art school, I said, okay, I've got everything arranged now. My parents are stabilized, ha 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 ha. My book will come out and it'll get a nice review, but that won't change life, ha 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 ha. And I will be doing something different. I'll be following another of the pleasures of my life. I'm a lucky person that I could pursue another love. Well, it turns out that it all comes with you. It all comes with you.
There's no starting over, huh?
There's a starting over, but there's no losing what was with you. As a friend said, you don't lay your other lives down, you just pack them on.
In Olden Art School, she tells the story of giving a piece of great advice to someone that she later realized was the best advice that she needed herself to hear and heed. You absolutely must not see yourself through other people's eyes. In retrospect, she shares, I did hear, I did heed. I grew up into who I am as no other. This is not something I could do just one time and have it work forever. Like artists the world over, my bayoneted hand-to-hand struggle against insecurity and for self-confidence never ends. I have to take my own advice and shoulder my armament every single day. Every single day. Not only to close the eyes of disparagement, but to also stop my ears against adulation, not to see myself through other people's eyes. To remain what the gurus call centered, when practiced every day, this work more or less with regards to myself and my own artwork or artist's books so far outside popularity. And also to accept as part of my practice, my day job of talking and commenting that grows out of my career as a historian. I'm an artist who lives and works in Newark, New Jersey, whose other, not as I once said, former lives as historian and a daughter are still crucial parts of me. I'm a wise old person, not a hot young artist, not a young anybody with a young anybody's future before me. I know the value of doing my work, and keeping at it. I do keep at it in the pleasure of the process of making the art only I can make. So like a chrysalis becoming, may I give in to the blue air that will carry us everywhere we need to go, to the shimmer of a world we have never known. Are we continuing the journey or starting over? Yes, no. Yes, and it all comes with us. Throughout our lives, we start over again and again without losing what is with us. Let no one keep you from the journey, especially when it's your own voice telling you it can't be done. May we always make the art that only we can make, as individuals on journeys of discovery and as a fellowship community moving into a new beginning, carrying the learning and wisdom of 75 years, remaining open to the possibilities that come with change. May it be so. Our closing song today is number 354, We Laugh, We Cry. I invite you to rise in body and or spirit, to sing aloud or sing from your seats.
We laugh, we cry, we live and die, we dance, we sing our song. We need to feel there's something here to which we can belong. We need to feel the freedom just to have some time alone. But most of all, we need close friends we can call our very own. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found a need to be together. And we have hearts to give. We have our thoughts to receive. And we believe that sharing is an answer. A child is born among us and we feel a special glow. We see time's endless journey as we watch the baby grow. We thrill to hear imagination freely running wild. We dedicate our minds and hearts to the spirit of this child, and we believe in life and in the strength of love, and we have found a time to be together. And with the grace of age, we share the wonder of youth, and we believe that growing is an answer. answer. Our lives are full of wonder and our time is very brief. The death of one amongst us fills us all with pain and grief. But as we live, so shall we die, and when our lives are done, the memories we shared with friends, they will linger on, and we believe in life and in the strength of love, and we have found a place to be together. We have the right to grow. We have the gift to believe that peace within our living is an answer. We seek elusive answers to the questions of this life. We seek to put an end to all the waste of human strife. We search for truth, equality, and blessed peace of mind. And then we come together here to make sense of what we find. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found a joy being together. And in our search for peace, maybe we'll finally see, even in question, truly is an answer.
The chalice extinguishing words are by Darcy Roque. There is too much hardship in this world not to find joy every day. There is too much injustice in this world to not right the balance every day. There is too much pain in this world to not heal every day. Each of us ministers to a weary world. Let us go forth now and do that which calls us to make this world more loving, more compassionate, and more filled with the grace of divine presence every day. Amen. Thank you for being with us this morning, for taking time out of your holiday weekend to gather in this community. It's so good to be with you. And remember, actually, we'll be accepting offerings to the Community Academy until Tuesday if you want to go online. Today doesn't have to be the last day. And this is a very generous congregation, and I thank you for that generosity. Blessings on your week. I'll see you again soon.